Hi, welcome back to another episode of Jimmy Repeat the Podcast. Today we're going to have on Liz Cakes D'Amato. She runs our Strongman event. We're going to talk about a bunch of things today. As show promoters, there's a lot that we go through in pulling off, one event, let alone, pulling off an event within an event. It's a lot goes into it. A lot of crazy things happen leading up to it. Sometimes the very night before, there's crazy things happening that, most of our athletes, they never know what's happening. The audience never knows what's happening behind the scenes or, what we're feeling inside when all this starts. So I met Liz back in January, I believe, of 21, when we were first started planning the 2021 Mr. America, and to have her come out with the Clash of the Tridents. And that was very interesting. Liz came in, gung-ho, ready to go. And like within a few minutes of meeting her, I knew right away, like, this is the person I need running that event. And, with that being said, Liz is a nationally qualified strongman woman. We're going to have to clarify that. I'm going to need clarification on that today. Is it strongman woman? Is it strong women? Is it just strong? I don't know. So we're going to get clarification from a professional on that. She's went to Norway to get her strongman certification. She's competed in Virginia, New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and she now runs one of the largest strongman competitions in New Jersey, if not the largest. Is that right?
Yep, the largest in Jersey. Absolutely.
So let's talk a little bit about when we first met. And I guess we were walking through, I think we actually started at the show. Did we start at the Showboat, or did we start at the convention center?
We started at the convention center. Within 30 seconds of getting there, I knew I didn't want to do any of it, but I was going to regardless.
It's a big deal. From what I've seen, a lot of the strongman events around the globe are, outdoors in a gym parking lot or, a strip mall parking lot. And these men and women are just raw, just picking up crazy things. And, to bring it inside into another event, that must have been, pretty overwhelming, I guess, for you at first to see what I was trying to do.
Yeah, definitely. Moving it from outside to inside opened up a lot of doors for us in Jersey. We were able to do a lot more with the space, but there was also a layer of safety that I'd never really had to worry about. Like, are the floors going to hold everything that we're actually lifting and possibly dropping on it? Most recently this past year are the ceilings high enough? Like, those types of things, like you said, as promoters, there's a lot of things that just pop up that we don't think about. And I definitely was thrown into the fire, right off the bat, having to be at the convention center when we did that first walkthrough.
Liz was the first person that I met with in regards to creating this sports festival that we did. In 2020, everything was very tough with the pandemic, trying to pull off the event, and I planned 3 different events. I started inside, and then, capacity limits changed in New Jersey. So I moved the event outside, and, that seemed like it was going to work, and that was a go. And up until about 6 weeks prior to the event, then the capacity limits changed for inside, where I realized, hey, shit, I could pull this off indoors and still make it happen. So we only had 2 sports in year one. With a very, very small expo, maybe 8 tables, but I was hell-bent on pulling it off. I'm the guy that if I commit to doing something, it's going to happen. There's no going back on that. And when you committed to doing this, I didn't know what to expect from you. So I guess both of us were a little bit, maybe a little unsure, uneasy about what we expected from one another. And I got to tell you, you sold out your event like in days.
6 days. 6 days.
6 days. The event was sold out. That's a big difference in bodybuilding. It's 6 days before that everybody starts signing up. So, you had a lot of leeway on planning because you knew, like, hey, I'm going to have 100, 125 competitors coming in and what you need to do. So that's definitely a blessing. How was that first year in the Showboat for you?
The first year, I feel like you said, I was able to plan a lot more because I already knew how many athletes I was going to have. I could get the sponsors in. I could order the t-shirts in advance. Like, all of that was effortless. I didn't take into account a lot of the Atlantic City, New Jersey regulations. So I don't know if you remember, but
Oh, I
17
remember.
miles out, we were weighing the yacht that we originally had, and it was too heavy for the boardwalk. That was something that just didn't cross my mind. So then within 48 hours, I had to come up with a brand new truck and I
And
had to
another
borrow a
boat.
buddy's boat. Like, "Ooh, by the way, I'm taking this." Like, that's pretty much how that went down. So it was
Uh-huh.
very interesting having to deal with the cops on the boardwalk. We actually didn't have all the paperwork in properly, so I kind of had to schmooze them a little bit. I don't know if I can say
Well, I guess now might be the time to divulge some information.
that. Okay.
Um, so Friday night prior to the event, we get a call from the city, and we knew there was an issue, getting the truck weighed and the boat weighed. Come to
Yeah.
find out that we were fine with the weight, but we also there was paperwork that they needed from us as the the head of the festival to submit that we didn't submit. And at this time, I have to tell you, it was after business hours. We were setting up for the bodybuilding competition.
Uh-huh.
I had people getting tanned and checking in, and it was absolutely crazy. So our producer was actually on the phone, trying to deal with that and get that all taken care of. And everybody out there who's listening or watching, if you don't know, Liz and I, we shut down the Atlantic City Boardwalk for her main event. So
Or
logistically speaking, that's a nightmare to do because we're asking an entire city to close down, one or two city blocks for an entire day. So we could have Liz pull a boat and a truck. Well, a truck attached to a trailer with a boat on it, right?
exactly.
So, and if you haven't seen that, I think Liz has footage of that. We definitely have footage of that, and we'll see if we could get some added to this if you're watching out there. Um, but to me, I think that may have been one of the greatest things I've ever seen before. Is this happening on the boardwalk in Atlantic City? What did the athletes feel about doing that?
I personally was floored. The athletes, 99.9% of them loved it. There's always going to be someone out there that has something to say. Oh, it was too light. We went too fast. But come on now. Where can you go to in the world where you're on a boardwalk pulling an Escalade that's pulling a boat? And then there was a couple people on the boat. Like, I wasn't letting it faze me. It was honestly one of the best days ever, hands down. The people on the boardwalk walking past, like pointing and excited. Even the cops looked at the little permit that we had, that there were a couple of things wrong. And they're like, "I don't care. Can we just watch she pull this?" Like, they were excited to see it. So it was hands down so much fun. And some of the athletes still talk about it today.
The whole city of Atlantic City knows what we're doing. They know who we are. So things are getting a little bit easier when it comes to permitting and things along that nature. So that was in 2021, and we were in the Showboat, which I think was kick-ass for your event because, like I said, I've only seen these done outside somewhere.
Yeah.
So I think being in the Showboat was a lot of fun. And then, some things changed and we moved to the Tropicana because I felt like we already outgrew the Showboat,
Oh, for
you
sure.
know?
Yeah. For sure.
Um, and at the Showboat we did, we had the bodybuilding, we had your group, Strongman, we had powerlifting, and we had, an expo. So it's like, we maximized our space here. Now what? So we moved to the Tropicana. How did you feel about that going into a new venue yet again?
I feel like we definitely outgrew the original space, and I hate to say it because I know it's just going to cause you and I more headache, but I think we even outgrew that one because the day of, we were like right next to the strip curl guys and everyone was a family that day. All of the
Right.
sports were like really in it. But I think if we're going to get bigger and better every year, then that's probably going to continue to happen. So I hate to break the news to you, Mark, but you're going to keep growing.
Well, I mean, that's the idea, right? We're planning at some point an Atlantic City takeover. We're gonna have to take whatever convention space we could use, and we're gonna keep adding sports and making the expo bigger. And I have a few ideas for sports for outside at different locations throughout the city. It's a whole Mr. America weekend, and I don't know if you're aware. So last year, not only did the mayor of Atlantic City, but also the governor of New Jersey declared October 8th Mr. America Day.
Oh, that's awesome. No, I
Yeah,
didn't
so
know that.
I have the declarations. I'll have to get a copy to you for that. And both the city and the state are both going to be on board backing that up again this year, which is really exciting for us. It just goes to show you that we're not just another local event, right? This is much bigger than all of us. People say, "Oh, well, you know, how many people were in the audience and how many athletes registered. And I don't really worry about stuff like that. At the end of the day, I like to make sure we bring everybody together. And, having a multidiscipline sports festival, we're really able to accomplish bringing athletes from all different disciplines together, whether it's bodybuilding or, those CrossFitters, strongman, powerlifting, strict curl. Like, to me, that's great. The Mr. America represents, togetherness and bringing all these people together. So that's really important. And I love the fact that you're growing each and every year too.
Oh yeah.
So don't worry, I'm not going to run out of space for you. The space we're going into this year, we're just under 100,000 square feet. So you have plenty of space. Although we're going to have more sports and more vendors, you're still going to have more space. The floor plan's already done, and your space is allocated. So you're going to be in good shape this year.
Nice. So, well, we better, because we're pressing a car this year. So we're going to need that.
What do you mean you're pressing a car this year?
We are literally pressing a car. So
like a Viking press?
Pretty much. So like the vehicle is going to be on a car deadlift platform, and the athletes that have that like neutral grip with the Viking press handles,
right,
and they have to press the car. So that's something that we haven't seen very much of even in our sport. So I have a lot of athletes asking me specifics for it. We're very excited. Our welder is always looking at me like, what are you doing? How are we going to do this?
So is that like the main event? Is that the finale? Like, where does that fit into the whole day?
Being that we're going to go beyond 50 athletes, we're going to run all 5 events simultaneously. So each week class is going to start on a different event.
Okay.
So I hate to break it to the novice men and women, but they're going to be starting first on the car deadlift. That's like our initiation. They always get the worst as their first event. So they'll be starting on that one.
What other events do you have planned for this year? Can we talk about that yet, or is it a surprise?
Absolutely. No, we can definitely do that. We have like a Ukrainian deadlift, which really looks like a sumo deadlift. The athletes standing on 2 platforms, so their legs are spread, and they have to lift and implement deadlift it pretty much. Just stand up is what I keep telling the athletes. Like,
and implement? What exactly is this implement going to be?
So they saw it last year during the power stairs, those like big stairs that we had in front of your flag. So those humongous monster pins is what we call them, is what they're going to be deadlifting.
What does something like that even weigh?
Empty, it's about 135, depending on whose scale you're using. We like strongman math. It's not going to be like that specific. So you're like 130-ish is what we like to say. So that's just empty, but it's loadable. So we'll be able to load it for all the way up to like the super heavyweight men.
Oh, and does that change across the event for weight classes?
Yes. So it's like a percentage of each person's weight, and we test that throughout the year just to make sure it's as accurate as possible.
Wow.
So,
awesome.
There's also a head-to-head Atlas stone to shoulder, which for those of you that aren't familiar with strongman, you'll most recognize that as like those big concrete stones that you see on World's Strongest Man that they're lifting. Those are the most recognizable implement that we use. So they have to like hoist it pretty much to their shoulder and show control at the top.
With a giant concrete stone.
Yes, get your head out of the way, pretty much.
Yes, please do. We're obviously insured, but I'm just not sure how that would go on an incident report that, someone's head was crushed with a concrete stone.
That's okay. We're insured.
I don't even know if we would report that, or, they just end up in the swamp, along the expressway. I'm not sure how that would work out for anybody. Okay, so you're going to have the car press, the Ukrainian deadlift.
Yep.
The Atlas stones.
Yep. And then
what else?
We've got 2 more events. We've got the seated vertical flag hoist. So that's pretty much the athlete seated. There's going to be a huge rope that's tied to another implement, and they have to hoist the rope off of like a pulley system.
Okay.
But they can't leave the ground. So the intent with that, it's like a sheer upper body event, is the goal for that one.
So what if this implement is lifting the person off the ground? Does that happen?
It does.
Can we make that happen?
Yeah, right. It does for some classes. So you're going to see, we're going to have a few clinics coming up. And I'm sure I'll be posting the bloopers of that and teaching the athletes how to avoid that, because that's not really going to help you if you go up and the implement.
Right. If somebody cuts the implement off the other side to get you back down.
Pretty much.
Wow. So I can't really wait for this year's event. Every year you keep bringing, like new and exciting things to it. And I guess as a promoter, that's what you have to do, right? You can't just keep
Yeah.
having more of the same.
Yeah, honestly, I try and think of it like, because I'm an athlete too, so I compete twice a year. And you'll notice that some of us do all the events and some of us cherry pick. I'm going to be honest, I cherry pick. I only go to events, I only invest in events that I'm actually excited about. Because why are we training unless we're excited about the event? So I don't want to see the same thing, just a standard deadlift, a standard Atlas stone, some type of medley. Those are like the basic strongman events that are, tried and true. They've been around forever, but I like to put a spin on certain things. So we have a press, of course, but it's a car press. We have a
Right.
deadlift, but it's a Ukrainian deadlift. So just something to make it worth their while. I mean, they're coming
Right.
out to the expo. Why not have a show, right? So
Right. Right. Well, I'm so happy that you said that. Not a lot of people understand. So not only are you running like your individualized sport or your event, you're also trying to put on a show for the fans, right? So some
exactly.
of the things that you do in an event may be just for showmanship, right? To entertain the crowd and that type of thing. And unfortunately, the athletes don't always realize, well, why do we have to do this or why do we have to do that? And it's like those athletes are also the entertainment, right?
Uh,
And those athletes that are entertaining are also inspiring, people that have never done it or people that are just intrigued by what they're doing. So I love that you said that. That's my philosophy too. When I run an event, I want it to be a show, right? It has to be, entertaining. It's got to run smooth. There's got to be things there that you don't have everywhere else. And I think that's where the success of the Mr. America as a brand comes in, because I'm working with like-minded people like yourself. So that, to me, that's super important. So you compete twice a year. I know you're nationally qualified. You've competed up and down the East Coast. How long have you been, competing, and what got you into this?
I started out in 2010, just like through a friend. I had graduated from college, and of course, we all gain that freshman 15 that like follows you throughout your college career. I was in school for 6 years, and then so that definitely did a number on my athleticism. Previously in high school, I was an athlete, so I kind of missed that, and I think one of my friends picked up on it and introduced me to CrossFit. And I know a lot of people have their strong opinions about CrossFit, but that's where I got started. That's where I fell in love again with strength sports. They do very well with making themselves marketable. So
Right.
anyone can do CrossFit. It's scalable is what they always say. And I feel like that kind of helped me get my foot in the door, getting back into strength sports. So definitely hats off to them and what they're doing. I feel like have taken this to like a broader scale that we as strong men and women really want to attain one day.
Mhm.
I started noticing doing CrossFit though that I liked kind of the odd objects. I wasn't into the handstand push-ups and the kipping pull-ups and all of that. I was asking, what the concrete stones were in the back, or what's that yoke implement? Can I lift that? Can I throw that? And one of the coaches actually got me into training more of like the strongman WODs is what they call them, the workouts of the day.
Right.
I ended up getting my certification in CrossFit and then moved on to my
So
strongman
you're also CrossFit
certification.
certified as well as
Yeah,
strongman. Wow. Okay.
yeah. Because you have to be certified in with their what they call an L1 to move on to any certification. So I kind of like had to. I didn't
Okay.
want to, but that allowed me to kind of get into the strongman cert, which you mentioned. I did go to Norway for.
What was
Yeah,
like
go big or
Norway?
go home.
That's a hell of a trip for a certification. Is that where all of them are for strongman?
No, honestly, I was pregnant at the time when I got my first cert, and I knew I had this window of time where I needed to get everything done before I was going to have a kid and everything was going to stop. I think I was more worried than anything,
Uh-huh.
not realizing that you can do both. So I kind of eked it in and looked for the nearest, the soonest certification, and it just happened to be in Norway. So again, 5 months pregnant, flew out by myself to Norway and got my cert. It was definitely an interesting experience.
Wow. That's a hell of a trip. A hell of a trip. So since you got your certification, are you coaching athletes also?
At the moment, I'm not. Promoting has really taken the reins. I've invested a lot into being a promoter and Mr. America, just getting everything kind of squared away there.
Right.
I'll always have that kind of on the back burner, but right now I'm really focused on being an athlete, being that I'm in a new weight class, and expanding, the expo right now.
Well, I know, from when I saw you at the Mr. America in 21 till when I saw you in 22, you dropped a ton of weight.
Yes, absolutely.
Was that
75
like, did you
pounds.
just want to lose weight, or you're trying to get into a different class, or
I realized very soon after returning to Strongman, like not just being a promoter and wanting to compete again, that I can't roll with the super heavyweight girls. Like, shout out to them. They are Amazons. They are 6 feet tall. They are just massive. I am 5'2" on a good day. Like, there is
right,
no way I'm going to be able to compete with them. So I kind of, took a hard look at myself, and not a lot of people can do that, and realized, you know what? Yes, all sizes are beautiful, but for me, this isn't functional. So we have to do something.
right?
So yeah, from in about, oh goodness, I think it was like 13 months, it took me to drop 75 pounds. Not alone,
That's
had
still a pretty
coaches.
good rate.
Yes, it was
It's like a
daunting.
pound and a quarter a week or something like that. Or a pound and or a
Pretty
pound and
much.
a half a
Gave
week.
me some leeway there. Like, I had some holidays where I was able to, move around a little bit, but I don't recommend doing it alone. I did not. I had two very amazing coaches, a nutrition coach and a strength coach, who I still work with to this day. I'm good at following orders. So I needed them to like just tell me what to do, and I will
Right.
do it. But yeah, I couldn't have done it without them for
And
sure.
how have you been doing it, competing since you've dropped the weight? Did you feel like you lost strength, or did you maintain most of that?
It's ironic. A lot of people get nervous about that. I think I was just a really shitty super heavyweight athlete, because I got stronger, which is very ironic on all lifts. So I think I was just really, I wasn't, again, functional at that weight. So all my lifts did improve. That's not to say that that'll happen for everyone, but for me, luckily, they definitely increased in number. So
Well, I think a lot of that has to do with your consistency with, steady nutrients and steady training, right? Because you have this goal that you're trying to reach. You're trying to lose weight, right? You want to come down into a different weight class. So you have that goal, and you're not going to get there without being consistent. And, when you're on the other side of the spectrum, you're not really worried about your weight, but, you might have an event coming up. Your training and your nutrition might not be as on point. So I really think the consistency has a lot to do with that. And, even with bodybuilders, you have to remain consistent, or you're not ever going to see that progress, right? Whether you're trying to add muscle or diet down for an event, if you don't do it day in and day out religiously, like, you're just never going to get to that goal.
yeah, no, I absolutely agree. I found that if I'm like an all or nothing type person. Like, I feel like it'll snowball if you give yourself, oh, I'll give myself a cheat day, turns into 2 cheat days, turns into a week. And then all of a sudden you're like, I'm never going to make weight.
Right. You're not back in the
Instead.
gym. You're eating like shit, and you're like, oh my God, what the hell happened here?
Exactly. And it affects your performance. Like, I feel it. We just had a wedding this past weekend, and today's my first day back. I went to the gym before here, and I'm sluggish because over the weekend, had a couple too many. I mean, you're fueling yourself.
How many is a couple too many? Were you sloshed?
3 or 4. No.
Were you sloshed?
I was not. My coaches are listening to this. No, they see all. I had to track everything. They could see.
No. I had a drink, and then I had a glass of water. I had a drink and then another glass of water.
I swear, I kept walking. I got all my steps in.
So we were talking a little bit before about, what it takes, preparing for these events. And I gave you an example of, the nightmare we had the night before the 2021 Mr. America with the city. So I know last year, I remember standing outside, and I got a phone call from you that you were stuck in the parking garage with a pickup truck and a trailer that now had a flat, and you were too tall for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And keep in mind, I'm with my boyfriend, who was a competitor in the show. So he's supposed to be relaxing in the hotel room. Like, he was going through a cut. So no stress is supposed to be on him. And he's the one driving it. So I had parked, and I realized he wasn't at our meetup point. So I'm like, something's wrong. So I'm running. There's actually a video I'm going to have to send you. I'm running through the street.
Yeah, send it, and we'll see if we could get John to upload it and attach it to this. So if you're out there listening, come check out the YouTube so you can see this video.
It's gold. It's 10 o'clock at night because, of course, I'm like, we have plenty of time. I can load all this myself. We'll take a leisurely drive down to Atlantic City. 10 o'clock at night, I'm running through the streets of Atlantic City with the tire, because at one point in time, the tire flew off. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I was trying to call you asking where I can illegally park is pretty much what
Well,
ended
we
up
we figured that out. We found it a nice illegal place to park that
happening.
nobody bothered you, right?
No,
With
we borrowed some cones and we coned it off as if it was like a legit parking spot. And then
right. Oh,
I
perfect.
woke up every hour on the hour and ran downstairs and checked to make sure it was still there.
Now, did you unload that night?
No, because they didn't have the doors open. So the
Oh,
valet guy pretty much told me just like leave it here and pray
so
is all that he said.
if anybody's ever been to Atlantic City out there in some of the parking garages, and I assume most parking garages, are kind of spiraled on the way up and the way back down. And a lot of times there's not even really enough room to turn a regular car in there. How far up did you get before you realized, oh shit, we're stuck?
Only the first up. Like once he got on the ramp and was
Right.
going up, that's where it popped. And he just stayed there. So we
But
backed up the whole parking garage. No one could even get in and get around us. We
how
just, yeah.
how long did that take?
About 45 minutes because I had to call my buddy that I was borrowing the trailer from, who gave me the okay to just ride on the rim, is pretty much what he told me to do.
I remember I went outside to look for you, and I did see you guys coming from the parking garage, driving across, I guess, the main boulevard there to the other side
What?
where you needed to unload. And I was just shaking my head saying, what else is going to go wrong this weekend? And the events went great,
Oh, yeah.
but then some shit happened when you were loading up. Did you break a finger or a toe or
Oh, my goodness. So I was so hell bent on just getting to dinner that night because it was such hell, like leading into the event. I
right?
just needed to be done. So I normally have a lot more help, and the guys and girls that helped out, they were amazing. But I think I did a little bit too much, and I got my finger wedged behind one of the big power stairs, and caused a dislocation. Yeah, that was fun. And then I lost a toenail. That was
Right. I knew there was something with a hand and a foot that happened. So
it's
I mean,
no
you're just
war.
you're just a fucking promoter. Like you shouldn't be getting injured during an
That
event you're
was
promoting.
That was actually a statement that one of the athletes said. They said, Liz, you are not an MMA fighter. You are a promoter. You
Right.
shouldn't get injured.
So how do we prevent that in the future? Did I actually just put out an email um, to people that have been to the event prior, letting them know we are looking for volunteers this year.
Hurry.
I know we got a lot of people asking, what can I do? How can I help? So yes, we are looking for volunteers this year. You'll obviously have free access to everything. So if you
Yeah,
want to volunteer at one of the events, just reach out to me or Liz and let us know what you could help with, because we'd greatly appreciate that.
for sure. Free food, free shirts, whatever you want. I
I
don't
might come volunteer for you. Shit.
care.
All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. What are we missing here? I want to make sure everyone knows you and why they should come out to support your event. Um, there's a lot of things that promoters do behind the scenes that people aren't aware of. And whether it's what goes into setting up an event or breaking down an event or, breaking down trailer tires or just breaking down, right? Sometimes we do that as well.
Yes.
But you take a lot of the money or most of the money that you make from the events and you donate that money to the Special Olympics of New Jersey.
Yes.
How did you get involved with that? Is like what's going on there?
So a part of the money that I receive from the athletes obviously goes into the show. So, we buy the shirts, we buy implements if I need extra implements. And then, like you said, a good majority does go back to Special Olympics of New Jersey. I've been
Okay.
doing that for probably about 12 years now. My degree is in psychology. Excuse me. And so in working in all of my internships, I always kind of gravitated more towards individuals who have developmental disabilities. And what I found was them working in some type of a sport, whether it's, track and field or even weightlifting, some of them engage in, it gives them a purpose. And it may not look the same as it does for you or I, but for them, it serves the same purpose in the end, and it makes them feel more fulfilled and connected to a community. So it kind of pairs my two loves, my career with my hobby sport.
Right.
And I've been giving back, like I said, for about 12 years now. We were able to fund powerlifting team one of the years, get them all new singlets, and cheer them on. It's just one of the most rewarding things I've ever done, and I'll continue doing it as long as they have me.
Guys, like this is one hell of a reason to come out and support Liz's event. we'll be at the Atlantic City Convention Center October 6th through 8th. Come out, meet Liz, meet the athletes, and know that your money's going to something bigger than just an event. That's huge. I wish we could do more with that. I'm willing to explore that with you.
That'd be great. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be all about that because there are people out there suffering with all types of disabilities that should be included in everything that's happening, and the truth of the matter is they're just not. So if there's something that I could do on my end, let's do it. You want to run a separate event? I'm ready for it. We could take all day Sunday and we could do that. I wouldn't mind doing that. We have the space to do it.
For sure, yeah.
And that would be another great opportunity to give back to that community. Right.
Yeah, honestly, and they're so appreciative of it too. Like every year, separate from that, a few of my friends and I do the polar bear plunge. So you probably heard of it. It's in
Yeah, I watch that from the warmth of my living room on Instagram.
That's more of just like a huge celebration for all the money that's raised, which these are all out there. But some of the actual Special Olympics of New Jersey athletes show up every year, and they're the ones that are like right on the line, right before everybody runs into the water.
Right.
And just to see them kind of cheer us on and be so, grateful for everything, it honestly brings a tear to your eye, and then you get shocked in the water. But that's
right. That knocks the tears right back down, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do something on that Sunday.
Okay.
Like I'm ready to plan this right now.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm in.
We could do another strongman event. We'll pick 4 or 5 different things, and let's make it free for those athletes.
That's awesome.
To come in and give them that platform to really compete.
Yeah, that's really all they want, is just to be included. It doesn't have to be exactly the same. They know that they're not the same as everyone else, and I think they thrive knowing that. Like, it's good being different, but to be included is really what's important for them.
Well, yeah, we're gonna do that.
Awesome. So, that's great.
When we get off of here, let's chat about that and get that done and solidified, and whatever we need to get in the works, whether we need equipment or manpower, we'll figure it out.
Awesome.
I'd really like to do that. I'm actually just a little taken back right now because we do donate to some causes, but we haven't really dived into any one particular thing because there's so many things out there that I want to give money to every cause and everything.
So many in need, especially nowadays.
Yeah, times are tough, and there's so many people that are hitting it rough for a variety of reasons. So I'm looking forward to doing this. This will be exciting. So make sure you all get your asses out here and come watch this event, October 6th through 8th at the Atlantic City Convention Center. In case I didn't mention that already. Liz, are you competing this year yourself?
I am. I'm a glutton for punishment. I'm competing right before, like the month prior, and then at the end of the month, I'm competing again. So, it just so happens that those were 2 events that I really wanted to be involved in. Again, I cherry pick. I'm not going to show up to an event and compete if I don't actually like the events. And it was just ironic that it happened that way. But
are they local, or where are you going for those?
The first one's down in Virginia.
Okay.
So that's Richmond, Virginia's strongest. So that'll be the second year that I'm competing there in the same.
And that's September?
Yes, that's in September. So right before we have to really dig in for
the big push.
Exactly. And then the other one's the last weekend of October. So coming.
And where's that one at?
That high. That's in Eatontown, New Jersey at the Pit Gym. Which is our hub for Strongman in New Jersey. So if anyone's in the area, Central Jersey area, it's Eatontown, and it has literally every Strongman implement you could ever want. And honestly, they have a lot of bodybuilders that come there, a lot of powerlifters. So if any of your guys are in the area, they're always welcome to join.
There's been a lot of crossover athletes.
Yeah.
Bodybuilders training in powerlifting and strongman now in their off seasons. I guess to get away from the mundane, right? And to really
switch up a little bit.
Yeah, you switch it up a little bit and build some more functional type strength, because that does translate back into bodybuilding. Right? So again, that's why I like bringing all of the disciplines together, because there really is a lot of carryover. Every bodybuilder is doing squats, as is every powerlifter, right? As is every strongman. Whether they're squatting a car or a barbell, they're still squatting.
Exactly.
So there is a lot of crossover. So we'll have to put that on our list of gyms to visit.
Oh,
How far is Eatontown from Atlantic City? Is that like an hour from Atlantic City?
about an hour. Yeah, it's not too far. That's where all my equipment is normally housed. When it's
Right,
not having to be trucked down. So
right. All right, Liz. So what? So we all know you're some type of superwoman, right, in the strongman world. But you're also a mom.
yes, I am a mom.
You're balancing
And
both of those.
I don't know how. I don't know, but you have to ask her if I'm actually balancing both of those.
Where can we get her on here?
Yeah, right. No, she's in school. I have to pick her up in about an hour, but she's 7 going on 17, and she would tell you 100%. She's a spitfire. She's been around strength sports. I mean, she was in me in
Right,
Norway. So
right.
I feel like she's just always been around strength sports. She runs in and out of the gym. She knows the lifts. She will tell you if your form is incorrect. She, holds no punches.
And I bet you she's not shy about it.
No, not at all. And I love that. Like, we'll go to LA Fitness during the week if I can't make it up to Eatontown, and she'll
Right.
go over their like kids club, which is where they kind of play and train. And what did you do today? Did you warm up before? Did you stretch? Like, she has like this checklist of all these things that she wants to know. And I love that she walks in not scared, because I feel like as a female coming into strength sports, it's scary going into the gym sometimes. And her whole life has just been the gym. So I'm hoping she doesn't have that fear like I
Do
did.
you want her following in your footsteps?
I honestly don't care what she does. She could tell me she wants to do bodybuilding, CrossFit, strict curl, as long as she has like something to get, any frustrations out or have some type of purpose, a hobby. I'd feel bad if she, lived unfulfilled. And I know
Right.
that strength sports, no matter what the sport is, gives people, motivation and, kind of betters them in the end. And that's all I care about for her.
That's great. Have I met her? I don't think I've met her.
I don't think so. She came the first year to clean up. I have a video of her running through the showboat at cleanup, and she was like in the, how they have like all the old casino games in the back. I kind of snuck her
Right.
in there. Sorry, showboat. To show her all the old casino games that they had like in storage. But yeah, that's the only day that she was there.
So we're gonna have to bring her this year and give her a job to do at the convention center.
Sounds
I
good.
guess I could use volunteers.
There you go.
So are there youth programs for strongman?
There is a teen class. We have a few teens actually already signed up. There's 3 female teens that are signed up this year. And as of my last show, which was this past February, I made it for all my shows. Any teen is free to sign up
Excellent.
for my shows, because I really just want them to not have that barrier of finances deter them from joining the ranks. So they're all free as long as they're signing up for one of my shows.
Excellent. Liz, tell everybody out there where they could find you and how they could sign up for the Clash of the Tridents at the Mr. America.
So all of our strongman shows in the U.S. are listed under ironpodium.com. You'll be able to search via name or location if you're not near to us. We support all states, so I don't care if you sign up for mine or anyone else's. Just come out. And then I'm on Instagram, which it's just U.S. Strongman Inc. in New Jersey, which I'm sure you'll post on.
Yeah, we'll put that at the bottom here. So again, if you're listening and not watching, jump over to YouTube and you could find that, listed in the bottom of the graphics here. And so everyone could reach out to Liz and take part in the show or come out and see the show.
Yeah, for sure. We'd love more the merrier, right? Let's keep growing.
Yeah. The vision for this is just, I can't even really put it into words. This year, I know we're going to do something special on Sunday.
Yes.
Right? We're going to be doing a cash prize. We're going to have a main strength stage that, well, you tell everybody. What are you doing on Sunday?
So we're trying to bridge the gap between all of the sports. And I've already reached out to our guys at Strict Curl. So shout out to them. We kind of buddied up with them. They were right next door to us last year. And we've agreed to kind of partner and do on the main stage like a $500 cash prize for the longest dead hang. So,
okay.
I mean, that's not something that's really strongman related. It's not really something that's strict curl related. We want it to be something that's generalizable. We'd love for the CrossFitters or whoever else is out there to come join us. And it just gives everyone a chance to show that like functional strength across all sports and possibly make some money. I mean, you're Atlantic City, right? Like, let's
that's what you're there for. Show up and show out. Yeah, this is open to the bodybuilders too, I would assume, correct?
Yes, absolutely. Right. As long as they're available, honestly, anybody can sign up. We're not.
And they'll all be available on Sunday. because the competition will be, between Fridays and Saturday.
Oh, perfect.
Where do they sign up for that? Is that also, will that be on Iron Podium?
So that's not on Iron Podium because you need to have like a membership to Strongman, and I don't want people to have to pay a membership for one event.
Right.
So that's something where they can just reach out to me on Iron Podium. That was all my contact info.
Excellent.
If they want to go to the event, just scroll all the way to the bottom, and my info's there, and they can reach out and we can chat about any questions that they have.
What kind of times are we looking at a dead hang?
Honestly, I've seen at some of the events, like, at the other expo events, they'll have a minute and a half. It depends on the athlete. I'm a little worried about some of our, like,
I
mass
could use
wrestling's gonna
$500.
be there.
I need to know how long I need to be hanging from this damn bar.
Like, if mass wrestling's going to be there, they've got pretty good grip. I don't know. They may have it.
Yep. And they're going to be there. We just put some of their information out. So they're definitely coming back, which is cool.
Awesome.
So are we making any predictions? What athlete from which sport is going to win the dead hang?
No, because I've got some guys that'll hold some farmers handles for the longest time I've ever seen, like over 2 minutes. So if you're a good strongman with regard to grip, which some of us are not, I am not, that's going to be your event. But I feel like the mass wrestling guys are really they should join up. This is me calling them out.
Yeah. Listen, John O'Connor, if you're listening to this, get your guys in. They can make $500.
Perfect. And we'll increase it too. So that's like the athlete pays to actually join that event. And then I use any money that's received for that cash prize. So if it goes beyond, it could go to 1,000. I mean, the more the merrier. You could
so this pot is unlimited and winner take all.
Exactly.
I'm in. I'm in. I'm doing it. I'm signing up. I'm doing it.
That's awesome.
I'm going to dead hang and I'm going to win $500 or more at the Mr. America. I love it. All right, Liz, this has been great chatting with you.
Yeah. Fun.
I wish you the best this year in your event. Obviously, as you know, anything I could do to help further your event, please let me know, and we will get together right after this and talk about the event for Sunday.
Oh, absolutely. And thank you. Honestly, you took a chance on me. I know we didn't really know each other. We had like a friend of a friend that did the introduction, but I felt like this was just crazy enough that it could be pulled off, and I don't regret a single second. So thank you, Mr. America, for including our sport.
We love having you, and I know, we've also said wherever I go, you're going.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So, Liz, this has been great having you back on here, and I'm looking forward to another successful event this year. I know I don't know if we were clear earlier, but over the past few years, the Mr. America has grown in leaps and bounds. And we're now at the point that we're running out of space in the places that we've been. So everybody out there who knows, yes, bodybuilding is going to be at the Tropicana again this year in the showroom, but the expo is now moved to the Atlantic City Convention Center. We'll be occupying close to 100,000 square feet this year. Everybody's event is growing, including yours. We're adding sports, we're adding more vendors and more sponsors and more activities. And I didn't think 3 years ago or 4 years ago that it would have grown so fast and at the rate that it's been, right? Like every year, sure, you can add something, but the size that it's become is just massive. And it is my understanding that we are the largest expo on the East Coast like this.
Absolutely.
So,
we knew it.
I couldn't have done it without people like you. So again, thank you so much. And again, we're looking forward to really seeing your event grow and the Mr. America, All American Sports Festival grow as a whole. So thank you again, Liz.
Absolutely. Thank you guys.
One time, go get it. It's yours. Let's shine.